Afternoon everybody, hope you're well. Welcome back to Matt Mostly Barbecues on this very nice grey summer afternoon. Today I thought I'd have a real go for it, and I'm desperate to do ribs. How's that? I'm going to do them in a slightly different style than most people are used to. I'll do a little bit explaining now and go through different methods that you can use. Barbecuing ribs. Everybody's got their own style. Everybody picks up styles from everywhere else, and this is why we need to have a go at them all. I'll tell you about my method in a minute, which I picked up off the internet a few weeks ago, and I love it, but that only kind of works with Komodo barbecues. I don't know how well it would work on any other barbecue. So first off, the way that a lot of people will know is the 3-2-1 method of barbecuing, which you basically put them on your barbecue, and the barbecue should be around about 215 to 225 Fahrenheit, and it smokes for 3 hours. You take the ribs off and you wrap them, and you put them back on the barbecue for 2 hours, and then you take them back off again, put them back on the barbecue for the last sort of 30 minutes, and then 30 minutes before you're ready to serve or do something, you can put them on and put your barbecue sauce on, sauce them up, baste them. You can do that for the whole of the last hour if you like, I suppose, but a lot of people tend to do it for the last 30 minutes. The places that I've been to that have got offset smokers that I've had the ribs are amazing, really nice. So that's one good way, and that's the way that most people know it. Another way, if you've got a kettle barbecue or you've got a gas barbecue, it's a similar sort of method. You still want your barbecues set at about 225. You obviously also want your coals all on one side, and you're going to cook, or you're going to put the ribs on the cold side of the barbecue or the cooler side of the barbecue. Your smoking chips, after you soak them, you can put them in foil, light a little bit, blow it out so it's almost out, put it over the coals, and that should keep smoke going around your kettle barbecue or even your gas barbecue. Same sort of method. You can get marvellous gadgets out there called smoking tubes, and you put pellets in it, light it a little bit, and you just put this whole tube in your barbecue. If you've got a gas barbecue, I'm sure it'll probably work on a kettle barbecue as well. So, but yeah, great methods. My method that I'm going to use is a hotter version, which means my ribs will be done in about 3 hours. Okay, wow, 3 hours. The reason why you can do it on a ceramic barbecue that quickly is because you've actually got the assistance of convection heat coming from the ceramic part of the top of the barbecue. Obviously you've got your coals on the bottom, and you've got your smoke that's there, and you've got the residual heat going through like you would with a smoker, but when you haven't got the added ceramic on the top. So by lifting the temperature only really slightly, but having the ceramic over it, you're going to be able to cook them in less time. So mine are actually going to be on the barbecue for about 2 hours. Then I'm going to take them off and put them in an open top foil boat. Then I am going to probably for the last 15 minutes I'll take them off and just coat them with a barbecue sauce. It's a homemade barbecue sauce that I'm going to make. So let's see how I set the barbecue up. The one thing I did forget to do, which I'll do now anyway, is I'm actually going to take the divide and conquer rack that you get with the Komodo Joe Classic 3, which is just this rack so you can put everything at higher levels within the barbecue. You can see the different levels that are there, because the slow roller stack will actually go on the top of this. We put the frame back in, the divide and conquer frame back in. A little tip that I've found with this divide and conquer frame is that once it's in place, I actually use the divide and conquer rack in there as well, and I can just show you here if I can just put it into place. Let's go. Just put it into place. I put the divide and conquer rack in here, and actually just put some tin foil over that, and it's hopefully keeping this a little bit cleaner. Otherwise, as your ribs are cooking over this, they're just going to drip all over the top of that plate. So while I've got a moment, let me tell you what I've done to prep the ribs. There's a membrane that's on the underside or the bone side of the rib. I tend to remove it. Another reason for removing that membrane is you won't get as much flavour on the underside of the ribs, so you need to have a go at taking that off. It's really easy. You need just a couple of implements. You need a normal table knife and some kitchen roll. And all you do is you count along the ribs, maybe 4 ribs along where they start to go a little bit flat. You slide your knife underneath the membrane and lift. And as you lift, what will basically start to happen then is you can see the membrane coming up. So then you can either push your fingers into it, which I tend to do, push your fingers into it and start to pull it up, or you can get a piece of paper towel which helps you grip. That's the only reason why you're going to use it. A piece of paper towel on it and pull. You start in the middle, you go to one end, and you get the piece of paper and pull it all the way along. It works like that every single time for me. It's just dead easy. Then what you're going to do is flavour your ribs. So I'm tended to go for just a basic style actually. You don't need to do too much with them. I've got my own shaker, so I've just put sort of 2 parts salt, 2 parts pepper into the shaker. I do actually put 1 part of a barbecue flavouring in there, just because I like that particular barbecue flavouring, and then you sprinkle it over the ribs. Now, if you look at it and sprinkling that over the ribs, you don't want to absolutely lather it over the ribs. You only want to cover it slightly. So make sure you can still see rib underneath. As you'll see from mine, they're not heavily spiced. They're just covered with the salt and pepper and barbecue mix. Now the only other thing you're going to need, and this is just for when we're barbecuing, you're going to need something to spritz the barbecue ribs with. So I've just got a little spray bottle. I use a quarter of the actual spray bottle of apple cider vinegar, or cider vinegar. I'm sure it's apple cider vinegar. Oh, isn't cider always apple? Anyway, cider vinegar, and then I would actually, you can either double it or a little bit over double and put water in it. I will be spraying the ribs about once an hour. Barbecue's just got to about 300 degrees, so I've just closed the cap down. All you've got to do now is settle for about 10 minutes, and then yeah, I can still, at this present moment in time, the outside of the barbecue isn't really that warm, so it obviously means it's not ready yet. So give it a little bit of time, give it about 10 minutes, and the ceramic will warm up as well, and then there we are. I'm just putting my hands on the barbecue now. I can just hold my hand on it, so you can see that the ceramic's getting warm enough. Let's get the ribs on. Let's get cooking. As you can see, hopefully wafting in front of my face. It's not a smoke machine. It is actually the smoke coming from the barbecue. It's quite a nice smell at the minute. I'm starting to get the cherry through as well. It's not just the smoke of the charcoal going, which I like. I can sit out here for hours and smell this. It's better than sitting in front of a log fire. So here we go. Let's load the ribs. Okay, I've got everything's ready. We're all set. Let me start putting the ribs on. As you can see, I've got to be a little bit careful now. I've got 4 racks of ribs on the go tonight. There's 4 of us eating, so I've got to try and feed everybody. And I've never knowingly undercatered. So there we go. On we go. Let's close the lid and see what happens. So we've been on for about 20 minutes so far. I've just looked at my temperature gauges and they're going off the chart, and I just thought last time I did it I didn't use temperature gauges, it was all good, so I'm just going to leave it and let it go. It was saying it was nearly done at 136 Fahrenheit, and clearly, as you can see, it's not. So what I'm going to do now is this is the first time I went to the barbecue after about 20 minutes, and I'm literally just going to spritz it with the apple cider vinegar. So we've reached the 2 hour mark. There we go, there's the ribs. And what I'm thinking of doing now is I'm going to put them in a boat, and I'm going to show you how to do that now. And basically this is a technique that I've seen before. Just look at those ribs. I'm so hungry now. The smell coming off this barbecue is absolutely outstanding. What we need to do is we need to make a little boat with said tin foil. I'm going to spray them across the top. I'm just going to spray a little bit of the cider vinegar water mix into the foil. Okay, and I'm going to lift one up, turn one over, and look at that. Just look at how it's doing. It's beautiful. Okay, so I'm going to spray the inside of that with a little bit of the spray as well, so it's got a little bit more in there. And also a trick that I've been taught and trick that I know is that just a line of mayonnaise. And a squirty bottle of mayonnaise makes this really good for it. Straight into the middle. Okay. Now, what I'm actually going to tell you is that's not necessarily mayonnaise. What it is aioli, which is garlic mayonnaise, because as you've seen on my previous videos, I like garlic. So then what we're going to do is wrap it around so it makes a boat still on the ribs. Okay, just like this. And I hope you can see, and I hope I'm not blocking the view with my own shoulder in the camera view. And then I'm going to put it back on. Okay, and then I'm going to do exactly the same with all the other ribs. So there we have it, little boats of pork joy ready to go back on the barbecue for just a little while longer. Okay, so it's going to be probably a final 45 minutes. Then I'll take them off, I'll let them rest a little bit while I wait for the guests to arrive, or we have a drink and do whatever. And then I'll put some barbecue sauce over to tack them up, and I think they'll be about ready for eating. See you later. Okay folks, the ribs are now reaching temperature. They need to rest for a little while before I tack them up. My guests are here, so the next time you see me on the video, I'm going to change this t-shirt. It's no longer going to be the Matt Roasted Barbecues logo. It's going to be me looking in a different t-shirt. So there we go. And let me show you the ribs. I've just taken sort of 3 stacks of ribs off there. Look at them. Aren't they beautiful? And there's the other stack that I'm just taking off now. And I'm going to let them rest for about 30 minutes while the oven warms up for everything else, and then I'm going to put them back on the barbecue and tack them up with barbecue sauce. How's that? Okay, here we go. New t-shirt on. We're ready to just tack up these ribs. Look at the ribs. They've been resting for about 20 minutes now. I'm going to put them back on the barbecue, and I'm going to use the barbecue sauce to go over them to make them nice and sticky. So here we go. You don't need to see this bit. I'll just give you a photograph when I've done it. I've just got the ribs off the barbecue. Here we go. I'm just going to cut into one because we've got guests here, so I've got to be really quick with this. So I'm literally just going to take one, and look, they're flexible. It's just pulling apart. I'm going to take the end one off just to see what it's like. But look at what's happening there. Look at the tear. I'm going to take that bit off as well. There we go. And I'm going to try a bit. Look at
my bit?
No. It's definitely not your bit, Liz. But I'm glad you've entered the video, so that's great. So there we go. I've just chopped a bit. Chef's treats. There we go. Look at the colour on that. Look at the smoke ring that's in it. It's beautiful. Oh my goodness, look at that. There we go. There's the rib. We've got a nice smoke ring in it. It's nice and pink. It's nice and moist. Oh my goodness. I'm going to take a bite out of this bit. Look, clean off the bone, perfect ribs. Thanks for watching. Please subscribe, ring the bell. These are amazing. I'm going to go and speak to my guests and try and be a good host and smash my face off these. I love you loads. Thanks for watching. I'll see you soon next time.